Happy New Year, or Merry New Year, and welcome to 2022 and Royal Rumble month. Here on the Good Mike Work Commentaries YouTube channel, we're here to watch a lot of classic Royal Rumbles all throughout the month of January, leading up to the end of the month's Royal Rumble here in 2022. Thank you to everyone for being here, as always, those of you who are waiting anyway, and thank you to everyone who joined us last night for a really fun day one review. Shocking turn of events went down yesterday when Roman Reigns contracted COVID, was pulled from the event. They added Brock Lesnar to the Fatal 4-Way, making it a Fatal 5-Way, and the motherfucker walked out with the championship last night. So if you are curious on my thoughts on all that stuff, the review is up on the channel right now. Had a great audience last night. It was a lot of fun. And we talked all about Brock, the circumstances, what might happen now at the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and what kind of plans are now changed with Roman and Brock temporarily being postponed, or maybe even the whole program canceled permanently. They might be going with Roman and Lashley now. Don't know. So if you want to listen to all that stuff, the video is up on my channel right now. Check it out from last night. It was a lot of fun, but today we're here to talk about some real wrestling. I know Brock Lesnar won the title last night, and that was shocking and everything, but did he die? Did he die and levitate to the heavens? No, he did not. So tonight we're going to watch something that was a lot of fun. Back in 1994, this Royal Rumble was recommended to many of you, or by many of you, last month when we were doing the last couple of Starrcade watch-alongs, and we started just talking a little bit about Royal Rumble and whatnot, and a few of you mentioned this one, so figured we would do it. We got a lot of Royal Rumbles to do. We're going to be doing 1997 in a couple of weeks, 2003. We'll talk about some other ones as we go, but 94 was highly recommended. It's not my favorite because I did not like the tie, but it did set up a lot of things going into one of my favorite WrestleManias of all time. And, of course, Bret Hart getting his leg kicked out of his leg and then still coming back to tie in the Royal Rumble was quite the story. I was convinced as a fan at the time that The Undertaker 100% was winning the title on this show. After what happened at Survivor Series and the fact that they were moving Yoko, what appeared to be, into a feud with Taker, I was convinced he was walking out as champion. He does not lose in casket matches. So the ending to that was shocking in the way The Undertaker left, but at the time, I had no idea that he was injured and was going to be taking some time off, and he wouldn't return, at least to TV, until SummerSlam when he would wrestle himself. So this all kind of set that up going into WrestleMania 10. Bret, Owen, Bret, Luger, Yoko, all that stuff that would take place at WrestleMania 10 was kind of set up here, and the table was set. Horrible end to the year as I see a few R.I.P. John Maddens and rest in peace Betty Whites, two icons, man. Lost them in like a couple of days within each other. So horrible ending to what was a pretty shitty 2021 for most of us. But it's a new year. It's a new day. All that good stuff. Hello to everybody. Let me just say hi to everyone in the chat. I am letting my cats roam tonight. That may or may not turn out to be a mistake. We'll find out. Good to see William and Jay Lambo and Maka International, Justin Lowe, Tatanani. We are pro wrestling. Thank God you're here to give me some pointers if I need them. And I got to shout out my buddy Paul Carpenter as well. That gave me some really good, interesting facts about this Royal Rumble we'll get into in a minute. Big J is here. So is Ben. Jet the Hawk. Did I get you already? Raymond. Connor. David Brown. Welcome, my friend. So glad you are here. It's been a long time since I've seen this one too, man. We're coming up on, so this would be what, 28 years? So we're only 2 years away from the 30th anniversary of the show. Blows my mind. I was junior in high school. Crazy fucking time, man. Also, Deshaun is here. Nice. We got James, Ashworth Financial, Alan Carter, Joe Ripley in the house, Shug, or Shurg, or Sergey. Regina is here. George Morris, thank you, brother, for that $5 drop. Except I lost you. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? WWF Royal Rumble 1994, 10 out of 10. I was 14 years old, and where I lived in Indiana, it was 60 degrees below zero that day. Jesus, I have no idea what the temperature was where I was in North Carolina. I'm sure it wasn't warm, but goddamn, 60 below? Nah, it was, at worst, it was just below freezing maybe. I don't really remember. I remember watching it. I remember everything, but I have no idea. I don't have any recollection of the weather that day. That sounds horrible, but George, I'm happy you are here as always. How Wheezy is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Wilbert Reed. I'm probably missing some guys here. Quentin, thank you very much for being here. Chris Ludecki, $5 drop from you. Is it true when Vince heard the reaction Bret got compared to Luger when announced as a Rumble winner, he changed his mind on Luger winning at Mania? That's my understanding. I watched that as a fan, and that was my thought in real time as this was happening. because they did the tie, and I think it was WWE's test because, back then they're trying to, Hogan's gone, they're trying to make stars, and they don't want to put one guy over the other, and they got this idea for Lex, but the fans really weren't taking to him. I was not taking to him. And then when they did the deal at the Royal Rumble and both guys were announced as the winner, Bret's pop quadrupled Lex's. Even when they went to the ropes and saluted the crowd, Bret got the louder reaction. So I think the company took notice that night, changed gears, and I'm glad they did because I thought Bret was kind of shoved aside in favor of Hogan 2.0, and I thought it was a dumb fucking decision. So luckily, the fans spoke up. We said who we wanted. Vince listened, and the right guy went over at WrestleMania 10. So that's the story as I'm aware of it. But before we get going, if any of you are new to the watch-alongs, we do this every single Sunday that there's not a regular pay-per-view on. And with Saturday pay-per-views being more common now, we should be up here a lot. There's going to be some, exceptions to that, but for the most part, we're going to try to be up here on Sundays to do classic watch-alongs. We did it pretty much all last year, and this month, like I said, will be all Royal Rumble. So how we do it on this channel is we watch on Peacock because we are in the United States. So that's how we follow along. There's a timer right above my head. The only thing you have to do is follow along with the timer. Even if I buffer or something like that, I will match the timer above my head. It never stops running, so I will make sure I adjust myself to just match the timer. That's all you got to do, and if you do that, we should be able to follow along with relative ease. Now, if you're watching somewhere outside the U.S., maybe still on the WWE Network, you can still follow the timer. It just might not be synced up perfectly. And if you're watching somewhere else, I don't know how the hell you're going to do it. So hopefully between Peacock and the Royal Rumble and WWE Network, you've pulled up Royal Rumble 1994. If you are doing it on Peacock, you're going to be looking for Season 7, Episode 1, Royal Rumble 1994. And according to Peacock, the runtime for this event is 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 6 seconds. So that's where we're at for Peacock. And like I said, WWE Network might be a minute or so off there, but we should be able to follow along just fine. So in just a few minutes, we're going to do a countdown from 3. We're going to all hit play together. And when I hit play, the timer will start moving, and that's how we do it. Very simple. And all of you guys know this. It's just I need to repeat it every week in case the audience grows. So anyway, we'll get moving on that here in just a second. Alan Carter, not sure if I got you or Yachiro or Ruben in those shout-outs earlier on. Ramon Coffee, not sure if I got you either. I just keep saying names and I keep forgetting. Let me shout out to my buddy Paul, who's been helping me with some stats, and a shout out to We Are Pro Wrestling too in the chat, who is excellent at this type of stuff. But Paul gave me a few interesting facts regarding this Royal Rumble I want to share briefly. Number one, this Royal Rumble took place on a Saturday as opposed to a Sunday. Now, that I did not remember. I don't remember this being on a Saturday, and I'm surprised because if it was a Saturday, I would have been at work, but washing dishes, at my restaurant. But I think that night I must have asked off or something. I don't know. It baffles me, but I wasn't aware that it was on a Saturday, but that's interesting. It's been a long time, since they started picking that back up just this past year. Also, the week before this fact I did know, but it's nice to be reminded of it. A week before this event, a 30-man Royal Rumble took place at Madison Square Garden, and Owen Hart won that. And that was also, I guess, Ludwig Borga's final show on WWE. I think he was supposed to be in this Rumble and, didn't make it. So Owen, they might have been testing out Owen and Bret ideas for WrestleMania. I'm not sure, what they were going to do there. But Owen winning the Royal Rumble at MSG was interesting. Long-standing rumor that the body double, I've heard this one too, long-standing rumor that the body double ascending to the heavens after the casket match was Marty Jannetty. However, that was recently revealed not to be true. I'm not sure who debunked that, but I have heard that urban legend before. And when you watch, it was really hard to see back in the old days, and when we get to this, I'll talk about it. But when I was watching that on my little 19-inch Magnavox tube TV, you couldn't see any sort of silhouette or mannequin or anything. You couldn't see any, or body double. I couldn't even tell what was going on. It wasn't until I got the VHS, which I actually forgot to put out. I have it right on the shelf there, and was able to see it in a little more clearer quality that you could kind of make it out. And now with digital and, more high def stuff and resolution and stuff, you can see it a lot better. In modern versions, we'll probably get to see it pretty well here. But I could not tell what was going on. I just saw the Undertaker on the video wall and Ted DiBiase marking out, like, I can't believe what the fuck's going on or whatever, but I didn't really understand what was going on. But apparently the rumor was that it was Marty, but it is not. Also, this is Mark Calloway, a.k.a. The Undertaker's last televised match until SummerSlam, but he did return in May on a short Japan tour. So He was off resting all that time while they did the fake Undertaker deal. And also, Ted DiBiase was on commentary for this event, and it's his first WWE appearance since his last match at SummerSlam 93 against Razor Ramon. I didn't know that. I guess he was absent. That's right. He wasn't present at Survivor Series. I don't recall seeing him on TV during the fall of 1993, so they brought him in here to be an announcer, and I guess at that time they kind of needed it. Lawler had just come back, didn't he? And he was going to be doing the Bret thing. I don't know what he was doing here in 94. He might appear in this Royal Rumble later on, but also Mr. Perfect left, and Bobby Heenan was gone, also left at Survivor Series, so they needed some play-by-play people. I don't know what Jim Ross was up to at this time. He might have been fired too. Who knows? But yeah, DiBiase was here, first appearance since he hung it up against Scott Hall at SummerSlam. So very interesting. Thank you for those fun facts. We Are Pro Wrestling, or anybody else, if you have any more fun facts, feel free to hit us with them. We want to get this going here. I wanted to start this no later than 18 past the hour so we can finish right at the top of the hour. 3 hours from now, wherever you happen to live. Also, Jimmy Anderson, who's all the way from Sweden. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. Good evening to you. Thank you for being here. Should be a fun night. That's right. Neil Barreau is right. Bobby Heenan made his WCW debut during this month and year of January 94. So Ted DiBiase commentated with Vince on this pay-per-view. I remember when Bobby Heenan debuted on WCW. I'm pretty sure it was with Mean Gene. I remember them being like in the entranceway of a show when Heenan came out. Might have been the Clash or something like that, or Saturday Night. Crazy, fucking crazy. I was so bummed out. I was already shocked to see Gene over there. To see Bobby, that one hit me here, man. I was like, what's next? What's next, Gorilla Monsoon? My God. Also, shout out to my man, Amado Gonzalez. Don't know if he'll be in here in the chat tonight or not, but he mailed me the sweet-ass Hart Foundation shirt. I don't know if you can see it, so I figured I would rock it tonight for the watch-along. He sent me another Hart Foundation shirt and even sent me a small version for my girlfriend. So he is awesome. Great dude. Thank you for the Christmas gifts, my man. Joe Shipley quoting Bobby Heenan. Last time I saw a tugboat, typhoon, buffoon, whatever he is, run that fast is when they opened the lunch line at the free buffet. Bobby Heenan. That sounds like a Bobby Heenan line for sure. All right, I'll stop flapping my gums. Hopefully you've got your cock pulled up and you've got Season 7 of the Royal Rumble 1994 ready to rock. You want all zeros across the board there. We don't skip the intro. If you have any ads to watch or anything like that, I don't know. Get through those. I pay for the premium shit, so I don't have to do that. But if you have to watch an ad, get all that ready to rock, and we are all just going to start this show from the very, very beginning. So I'm going to get my fingers in place. I got 2 computers, and I got to do 2 mouses. One for the timer, one for the Rumble. And we'll do this on a countdown from 3 in 1 second. Just got to get my fingers in place. All right. You guys ready to rock? Hopefully you are. On a countdown from 3. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Nice. I'm getting good at this. Still undefeated. I've not botched it once. Like I said, don't skip the intro when it offers you that option. We want the whole intro, baby. It's got a very WCW looking kind of intro, doesn't it? Is this the music they used? This sounds generic as hell. They didn't use the classic Royal Rumble theme? I thought they were still using it at this time. Makes me think they've dubbed this too for some reason. Yeah, this definitely sounds dubbed. Vince's voice sounds muffled. All right, what's the story on that? Why would they even bother dubbing this? We're off to a bad start. Oh yeah, Vince is by himself. He must be introducing DiBiase. Great. Vince still putting everything over in classic Vince voice. The Quebecers, that's right. I forgot. Marty and Jannetty and Kid won them and then lost them back. And two, as a fan, you got to understand how fucking ripe Yokozuna was at this time. And back then, you weren't thinking along the lines of, oh, they should wait until WrestleMania for Yoko to drop the belt. Fans didn't really think that way. He had been champion for a long time. Fans were sick of his ass. Undertaker's unstoppable. To me, it was one of the few times that I was dead set on thinking one thing was going to happen and something else happened. I always entertain all possibilities, but here, I remember as a kid, 17-year-old kid, thinking, oh yeah, Taker's taking the belt. Welcome back, DiBiase. Is he talking about John Madden? I think he is. I think he's talking about John Madden. He must have just signed a Monday Night Football deal or whatever he was doing back then. To me, it's funny. This is going to be a fun pay-per-view to watch, but by this point, the best Rumbles were over. I felt like 94 was starting to fall, and then 95, it just dropped right off. But everything was still hunky-dory up until 93. Those first 5 Rumbles, or how many we had up until then? 5, I guess, 4, were excellent. Pembroke, North Carolina. Look at Tatanka. I feel like if William Regal ever worked with him, he'd call him Tatanka. Oh, that's right. This was supposed to be Ludwig. I don't recall why Ludwig left, but he was on a hell of a winning streak there for a while. But he's also an evil foreigner when you got an all-American boy as your new Hogan. Of course, Borga was going to be fed to him. Yeah, this is a good match from what I remember. Tatanka and Bigelow. Former teammates, or I'm sorry, soon-to-be teammates in the $1 Million Corporation with the guy on commentary right now. Pretty cool. And his main squeeze. I didn't like, I liked the beard heavier on Bam Bam. He didn't look right when he was a little less bearded. I didn't love one of the few themes at during this era that I didn't love. I didn't love Bam Bam's theme. I honestly really liked Bam Bam as a babyface when he came in '87. And I remember when he came back here, I was like, oh, it's so good to see Bam Bam back here. But he was a heel, and it just didn't feel the same. He was getting kind of a push in '87. He was at the top. I thought they were going to put the IC on him. I think if they would have stuck around, they might have. He was so good. Look at him drop kicking. I like Bam Bam better than Vader. I always did. Thought he was better all around. Thought he did everything better. Pretty sure they held the IWGP tags together. Talk about a team. Vader and Bam Bam. No, Regal wouldn't. He's British. He would pronounce everything correctly. What's the other name that he would always say? It's kind of like Tatanka. What would he say? Oh, I can think of a bunch of names. Like I know he'll say like Bianca Belair and shit. What's the other name he would always say? I can't think of it now. Yeah, I think Vader had the better career, won more championships, but I thought Bam Bam Bigelow was better in the ring than Vader. And Vader was really good. Like Vader, if there was no Bam Bam, I would say Vader's like the best big guy ever to wrestle. But Bam Bam was lighter on his feet. Vader was still agile. Vader could moonsault, but Bam Bam, and that's Bam Bam's weakness. Bam Bam could not moonsault. He'd always did a twisty, funny-looking one where Vader could do a full backflip. But there was something else just a little bit smoother, agile looking like Bam Bam. He worked When you look at matches that Bam Bam had with like Bret Hart and guys like that, I think they were better than what Vader had. Plus, he carried fucking Lawrence Taylor in WrestleMania 11. Who could do that? Triple H. I'm trying. Umanga. Thank you, Tatanani. I'm trying to think. I'm like, it's somebody like that. Tatanka. I'm like, who is it? Umanga. That's right. Umanga. Thank you, Deshaun. I was trying to think of who that was. And I know there's like 10 other examples, but I would always crack up whenever William Regal would talk about Umanga. Love it. Thank you for the $2, Deshaun, and cluing us in. Big top rope sunset from Tatanka. From Tatanka. That's not a move you'd see very often from him. Ugh. Trying to think where these guys are in their career at this point. I would assume that Tatanka is going to win this match. He's probably booked to go over Ludwig, because Ludwig ended his undefeated streak, I'm pretty sure. Oh, Steven Scott. I don't know. The plan for SummerSlam 93 was for Tatanka and Sherry versus Bam Bam and Luna. Sherry had taken off right after that, was heading to WCW. And she did kickstart that feud with Luna at WrestleMania 9. Pretty sure that was the night Luna debuted. Sherry and Tatanka. I almost think they might have been setting up Sherry, Tatanka, and Luna Shawn, because that's how it was all starting. But then they moved Luna with Bam Bam. And I think it was she must have just gotten with him. I don't recall, but I'm not sure if she was with him at Survivor Series yet. So I feel like the Luna thing here is new. So that mixed tag you're talking about probably would have involved Shawn. Or maybe somebody else. I don't know. Tommaso Ciampa? Does he say that? That's awesome. Yeah, like if I was a worker back in these days, I'd totally want to work with Bam Bam. And he doesn't have that, like Vader. Vader has a rep. Vader, you're going to get potatoed when you're wrestling Vader. Bam Bam doesn't hurt you. He's not too many people were complaining about Bam Bam's stiffness, where you hear that shit all the time about Vader. Danny Davis, referee. Yeah, Regina, I just said that. I think Tatanka was probably booked to go over there on Borga. Because by then, if they had some plan to do like Borga and Lex at WrestleMania or something like that, that was in the can by then. Tatanka was a 10 times better babyface than a heel. Look what happened to him when he went heel. Came in 92, went undefeated, had some high-profile matches, and then literally the minute he turned heel, he was gone within a year. He would turn heel the next SummerSlam, or this SummerSlam, and then about a year after that, I don't recall him. Last time I remember him doing anything was King of the Ring 95. Crotch shot of Tatanka. I did not catch that. Lucky me, Jimmy. You can take that one to bed. You don't think Johnny Knoxville is serious, Quentin? I do. I think it's all part of that movie promotion. That movie's coming out in February. And I don't know how that would be any less believable than Drew Carey coming into the Royal Rumble, and that was arguably the best Royal Rumble of all time. At least Knoxville will bump, you know? What did Drew Carey do? Hopped over, just pushed right out, hopped right over the top rope. Knoxville, that's what WWE always does. They have some crazy entrant that's, tied in with promoting something. I think we could have worse entrants in the Rumble if you're going to do a silly one or a celebrity. At least Knoxville's nuts. So, don't forget Steve Owen Party Boy took an ass whipping from Umanga, remember? He beat the shit out of them. So, yeah, it's dumb when they bring in celebrities, obviously, but this is one that bothers me the least. And Jackass and WWE, a lot of fans don't remember. They used to be synonymous. When Jackass started, wow, Bam Bam doing Tatanka's little war dance there. And the crowd's liking it. When Jackass was on MTV, started on MTV, that's when Sunday Night Heat was on. Jackass would come on, usually on pay-per-view Sundays. You would watch Jackass, a few episodes of that, then Sunday Night Heat would come on, then the pay-per-view. So for a while, Knoxville and WWE shared a network and would cross-promote every now and then. So it's not that weird. See? Wow, that was one of the better moonsaults I've ever seen Bam Bam do. Usually when he goes for it, he's got a little bit of a twist. Vader's is much more square. But that was pretty good. That's one of the better ones I've ever seen Bam Bam do. Yeah, Tatanka coming back in the late 2000s or mid 2000s, whenever that was. I think that was more just for fun. A gimmick like that is so unbelievably obsolete. It was even obsolete during this time. So I think that was more just for fun, nostalgia, blast from the past type of thing. Wow, and he got him. Tatanka wins with a high cross from the top. Fucking one with Steamboat's move. Right on. Tatanka. Tatanka. Royal Rumble, 1994. And I'm going to light a scented candle. So that's how we roll in here. Good win, Tatanka. Oh, I think Knoxville might... I just don't hope he doesn't take a too crazy of a bump. But yeah, I think a table bump could be in his future. What is this, a Bret and Owen interview? Oh, recap. Okay, this match is next. Check out. It's the only time we've ever seen Bret in a singlet, ever. I've never seen him in shorts prior or after Stampede. Actually, maybe when Vince first got him from Stu, he might have worked a match or two in trunks, but he's out there looking like Kurt Angle. They were teasing the shit out of this, too. Like, during the match, you kind of had a feeling that Owen was going to... As soon as Bret and they got knocked off the ropes, you're like, oh, fuck. They're going to wrestle each other, because why would you even do that? Look at Bruce. I love that Bruce thought he would be the brother to do this. Like, Owen's definitely the guy. Yeah, Ray Combs was on commentary. Family Feud. Oh, yeah, so Owen challenges, Bret declines, then they make up. Just in time for the Royal Rumble to do the official split. Owen looks like Johnny Lawrence, doesn't he? My God. Like, just Bruce looked terrible. He would like, I can't, no way that would have worked. I wouldn't have cared or anything about his promos. I didn't dislike Bruce. I just never thought he was nearly as good. Or Bret and Owen were just so ridiculously above the rest of the brothers athletically and from a wrestling standpoint. He's like, I would not ever step in the ring with my own brother. I was like, you guys probably beat the shit out of each other as kids. What are you talking about? I want to fight my brother. I want to do it. Oh, now they're happy. Okay, now they're back together. January 1st. Look at there. Fucking 28 years and 1 day ago. They resolved it. They resolved their differences, y'all. They're going to be fine. They're going to win the titles from the Quebecers. Neil, that's a good idea. I forgot it's the 30th anniversary. Know what I also want to do? I'll look it up right here. What is the date on? See, they're teasing shit here. Owen's being a little shit. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, Owen, you prick. Rumble 92 was on January 19th. Is this year a Sunday, January 19th? No, it's a Wednesday. Damn. Okay. Why don't we plan for it maybe on the 23rd or the 16th, one of those 2 days. And I remember Owen being freaked out about this, too. That was a crazy move that kid did at that time. I saw that night. I watched this show live when they won the titles. And the way the kid was going, I'm like, I've never seen anybody do a flip off the top rope like that. Now you see it every fucking Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Macho Man runs in to celebrate with him. That was awesome. I remember Owen being all freaked out. I was like, oh, goddamn. And then, like they would do a lot. Look at this, another house show. The tag titles changed hands a lot on on house shows. A couple times in 92, a couple times in 93, and a couple times here in 94. Shawn and Diesel would win them from the head shrinkers on a house show, too. So it made this a tag title match again. So now Owen is very happy. Look at these guys. And you got to understand, as a Bret Hart fan, I was uncomfortable about this whole situation because I wanted Bret Hart to win the WWE title. I'm like, I don't want him to win the tags. To me, that was a step down because that's the way fangirls think. I was freaking out. Huh. They're all going to get a shot at the belts because you're looking at the best in the aerial wrestling and you're looking at the best of the technical wrestling. The water is under the bridge and we are together. That's right, excellence of execution. Not only would they lose this match to the Quebecers here, which has Jacques Rougeau on the team, 2 years prior to this, right before the Royal Rumble, the Mountie beat Bret for the Intercontinental title, and then Piper beat Mountie for it. Owen wants his belt. I'm going to go get that belt. Todd, explain the one earring. What's that? What's going on? Why are you doing that? I know it's 94, but Jesus, man. PCO's in this match, too. We got to show him some love. Look at these motherfuckers. Johnny Polo. It amazes me that he turned into Raven. Like, my God. Back then, I actually think I liked Kid and Jannetty more than Jannetty and Holly, or Kid and Holly. Was it Kid and Holly? All right, we got the Mounties in the ring. Here come the Hart brothers. Down to whoop some ass. Bret, watch out for your leg so your leg doesn't kicked out of it because that could be trouble. That's going to be trouble. Oh, I love this old school Bret music. But yeah, like I was saying, like as a fan of Bret, I was concerned that I almost deep down didn't want him to win the tag team titles here because I was so concerned about the Royal Rumble. I knew he was going to be in it. I wanted him to win it, and I'm like, well, if he wins the tag team titles, that would be weird at this time. It's not something WWE did. Bret wouldn't win the tag titles here and then win the Rumble and then go on to WrestleMania to win the title. Like that didn't make sense to me. So I was concerned that I basically knew going into this match that the brothers were going to break up. That seemed obvious to me. But as a Bret Hart fan, I was so preoccupied with WrestleMania and the fact that he's got a chance to get a title shot here. I was like, fuck, don't do the split and then do Bret and Owen at WrestleMania, even though that would be a good match. I wanted Bret working for the championship. So I got my way, you know. I was a nervous fucking wreck around this point in the show. But by the time it ended, I felt a lot better with Bret actually, you know, hey, I'll take a tie. It's like, just get him there. Just get him to Mania. Get him competing for the title. That's all I wanted. And then things worked out about as best as they possibly could for me. I got one of my favorite matches of all time between Bret and Owen opening the show. Oh, and that was Blade, I think. I didn't realize Bret's kid's there. And then later on, of course, Bret beats Yoko and celebrates with the entire roster. Fucking great. This Rumble, too, is in Providence, which I believe this is the building. Nope, that's Hartford. I was thinking this is where WrestleMania 11 was, but that's Hartford. Providence was not a huge arena. But this is WWE's backyard, man. Rhode Island, Connecticut, it's all right up there with each other. God, I don't like the way Johnny Polo looked at us. I didn't like that at all. I do, Joe, need to buy a Bret shoulder tassel jacket. For sure. By the way, if you guys want to smash that thumbs up button for me, I would really appreciate it. I could use it. Bret and PCO going at it. Alan Carter, Bret's theme changed at King of the Ring in '94. And I remember being such a superstitious fan. Like, this is the thought process that I had when Bret went through that music change. At WrestleMania 10, Luger got his music changed. And to me, that was a clear sign that, fuck, he's going to win the title and Bret's going to get screwed and it's going to be all Luger and Luger's going to get celebrated because they got new music for him. They're obviously ready to make him the star now, and they've given him this new packaged theme, but then he would go on to lose and get DQ'd against Yoko and not win the title. So when Bret debuted, he's facing Diesel for the title at King of the Ring. He debuts with new music, and I start panicking. And I'm like, well, they changed Lex's music, and he lost. So that means if they change Bret's music, he's also going to lose. This is what goes on when you're a psycho. So I was so concerned with Bret losing the belt. All these crazy thoughts were going through my head. I was a funny kid to be around. Bulldog and Neidhart were long gone by this point. As a matter of fact, Bulldog was on his way back. He'll be there at SummerSlam. We watched SummerSlam '94 last year, or last summer. Oh, I didn't know what Owen was trying to do there. He was trying to do that backflip thing he does. Miscommunication. Oh, 94's best in-ring or 97? I'd pick 94 over 97, but I'm not sure if 94 is his best year. I think 92 or 93 might be his best year. I mean, think about 92. Epic fucking match with Piper at WrestleMania. Epic fucking match with Davey at SummerSlam. A month later, beats Flair for the title. Works Shawn at Survivor Series, another great match. I think 92 was Bret's best in-ring year. Ugh. Bret could hit that elbow really clean sometimes. I mean, him and Jacques, they've battled so many different... I mean, they had the little Intercontinental feud 2 years prior to this, but the Harts and the Rougeaus used to work all the time, back in the day. So now they're at it again, but this time in Mountie form, or in Quebecer form, excuse me. Oof. Now forget the deal here. Bret at some point is going to hurt his leg. Sell the fuck out of the leg, and then he won't tag or something. And then Owen gets all mad. You're selfish. Yeah, that match is on Regina. That match I have on video. It was a Coliseum video. It was like one of those. It's right behind me. I just can't think of which one it is. It's one of those Wrestle Fests or something. And they did Bret and Owen versus the Steiners. I think it was a double DQ type of finish or something like that, where they were all kind of brawling, and then they all kind of came together as baby faces and made up and shook hands when it was over. But I don't believe we had a winner in that. Definitely not a clean winner. It was a DQ, either double DQ or single DQ. All right, Jacques recovering. Johnny Polo's got the water. I guess Johnny Polo couldn't do commentary either because he's at ringside right now. Love Bret's punches. Look how young Timmy White looks in there. My God. A lot of guys, Rick Rude would sell a punch to the breadbasket with a flip, too. I never understood that particular sell. Jacques and Rick Rude both did it. Big clothesline by the Rocket. And two, another thing you got to remember about Owen at this time, it was hard. As much as I liked Owen and everything, and I was already well aware of the Hart family history by this point, but Owen was not featured much on TV, so it was really hard to take him as a championship contender of any kind seriously during this time. Even when he would go into his feud with Bret, I remember like after he beat him at WrestleMania and shit, and they were going to go to a title program, I'm like, Owen Hart is the champion? That would be the equivalent now of, let's see. I wouldn't say Austin Theory, somebody not as young as him, but somebody on the roster that's just nowhere near that world championship right now. Shelton Benjamin or something. No, he's a veteran. But basically the spot that Owen Hart was on the card was not, his stock went up real quick. And him being in a title feud just blew my mind at the time because I'm like, Jesus, a year ago, this guy's jerking curtains. Now he's main eventing with Bret. That's insane to me. But he was awesome. That made Owen. All that stuff made Owen. Rick or Luger might have Rude beat in career accomplishments and stuff and maybe even exposure, but I much preferred Rude over Luger. It's a program and a feud we never got. That would have made, we had got the Rude Warrior pose down at the Rumble that year. That would have made a good one too, Rude and Luger. Holy shit. I think Rude would have killed him in a fight though. Ricochet. Yeah, Ricochet. Although Ricochet, I think, was already higher than it is right now. Like, Owen was just kind of mid at bottom of the card, worked a couple of hokey tag teams, just wasn't doing a whole lot, and then all of a sudden, boom. And plus the time period it was, too, it was hard to... I mean, people were still getting used to guys like Bret being main eventers, and, something like Owen was just strange at first. But the WWE did the right thing. WCW was taking all the names. Hogan, Savage, all those guys were gone. So you got to look elsewhere. And you got a great piece of talent in Owen Hart sitting right there. Why not make him? So they did. Neil, this was not 2 days before. Oh, you might mean something else. The Rumble is not 2 days before the Simpson car chase. That happened in the summer. Oh, yeah, there you go. King of the Ring. Yeah, you're right. It was. I remember watching it during the NBA Finals. Split screen with OJ being chased by the cops. Here we go. Sharpshooter. Bret's not even injured yet, so. That dirty Pierre. And don't forget, Bret would feud with Pierre. He'd feud with both these guys. He had tags and singles feuds basically with both of these Quebecers here, because a year or two later, would it be maybe a year later in 95, they'd repackage Pierre as Jean-Pierre Lafitte, and he was a fucking pirate. And I remember he stole Bret Hart's tassel jacket and everything. They had a whole deal. They had a pretty good match on pay-per-view, too, from what I remember. I think like an In Your House. Yep. Come on, Owen. Double clothesline. There he goes. Oh, double drop kick. I had that scouted wrong. Come on, hot tag Bret. Come on, Owen. Come on, little bro. I first got into wrestling when I was a tiny, tiny kid, probably like 1980. So it's been quite a while. Bret's hitting his moves on both these guys. He Russian leg sweep Jacques and backbreakered Pierre. I would have reversed that. Ooh. Bret just got... So that's how he hurt his knee. I didn't remember where the injury happened. So Johnny Polo opened the ropes and Bret went flying through him. And look at Owen. Like Owen gives a shit about Bret's knee. Bret, do you think we can still win the titles? Do you think? Do you think? Do you think? Do you think? Yeah, you can't forget Pirate PCO, man. Oh. Damn, they really did. Bret looked a little pissed there. Looked like he kicked his leg like, get off me, asshole. Go, Bret, go. I think that's what they're saying. Look at Owen begging. Owen, you're just making it worse, dude. Nice work by that camera guy. See how he's just holding the camera down there? Tim White looks like Stingray in Cobra Kai. I see Tony Gurria. Oh, my God. And Howard Finkel at ringside. Jacques just used one of those busted-ass, those unforgiving plastic metal chairs. Now he's got the cane or the polo stick. Dynamite being better than Bret's debatable. Dynamite had cut his career short. Oof. But many people think Dynamite's the best ever, you know? It's hard to disagree. It's just, I feel like Bret had a more well-rounded career. Yeah, it is a school cafeteria chair. One of those things. Look at Owen throwing him back in. I don't care if you die and your knee falls off. I got to win this tag team championship that's changed hands 3 times in the last week. It's very important that I win it now. Fuck your knee. Fuck your career. And then Owen's going to have the gall to call Bret selfish. What a dirty, rotten, little stinking fucking brother he is. That dirty Owen. Oof. That move was always so gnarly to me because it looks good when they just split the legs, the wishbone like that. Jesus. You better have some loose hamstrings to take one of those. Yeah, Ray was doing some announcing. I'm a big Ray Rizzo mark because he's a badass. Ray would interview Bret and Owen both during the lead up to their cage match at SummerSlam. Oh. Leg drop to the back of his head. Haku was awesome, but you got to understand the wrestling at the time, Haku wouldn't have been put as world champion. That would have never been an option. Not that he wasn't capable or, anything like that, but he would never have been the guy that Vince would belt up. And if he did, it would only be in a heel form to drop it to your big baby face. He'd be like an Iron Sheik type of situation or something, but... See, now DiBiase's already playing into the story. Oh, okay, so he's instead of tagging, he's trying to wrap up the sharpshooter on Pierre. This, I think, is what sets Owen off. He's got it. His leg is really wedged under there. Oh, he's back down. Oh, I think he just calls it. He does. He does. That's right. What's the bell for? Look at Owen. He's freaking out. And it's a finish you never saw. Even though there has been no submission, they got to make sure the crowd knows that. Look at Owen already losing his mind. Yeah, Steven, I was just saying that PCO will be stealing Bret's jacket pretty soon. Thank you for that, Roman Empire. Appreciate it. Glad you're here, man. Owen's in the Rumble later on, too, I believe. I don't recall who eliminates him. Bret's like, yo, Owen, can you give me a minute to, recover, and then can you be a prick? All you had to do was tag me, and then I'd get beat up and pinned. '89 team was good, Neil. I did a review of that Survivor Series a year or two ago. It's on my channel. Look at Bret. He's going to try to stand. Come on, get up, Bret. You can do it. Owen's not even helping him. Look at Owen's going to position himself right there. Watch him walk around, and then boom. There he goes, right there. Boom. Oh. And Ted DiBiase loves it. And that is how Johnny Lawrence joined Cobra Kai. Nice, Shadow Freakin'. I'm glad we got some new ones in here. Growth was slow in 2021. Maybe 2022 will be better. Yeah, they didn't start the theme music at Rumbles until 96. And there you go, Bret's leg. That's all he had to do was tag him. Just listen to Owen. He just worries about himself. He's just trying to fight the whole match by himself. I knew you had a bad leg, Bret. You should have just tagged your brother. Ugh. Vince, I can't believe that. Look at this shit. Pat Patterson, Tony Gurria, Rene Goulet. There's Dave Hebner. Earl, both Hebners are there. The twin referees are there, so I guess there still is two. Morella and Timmy White. Poor Bret. How long have I been watching WWE? About 3.5 months now, I'd say. Oh, here comes Ray Rougeau. More legends. Why don't you just add some more legends to this ring? He's trying to get an interview. Dislocated. I dislocated my leg. Can you even do that? Be careful, Pat. Bruce or Ray Rougeau, he'll stretch you. Owen had a funny, his promo after his victory at WrestleMania 10 was all funny, too. He said funny shit. I wouldn't be able to cut a promo after having a match. I'd be all wigged out. Look at him just, this is so many things wrong with this. Oh, there's the stretcher. Okay. Danny Davis is going to help out. They're old pals. Why? You're nothing but a selfish person. Oh, they're playing it on the video wall. Nice touch as they're wheeling Bret away. Look at Bret looking like, what the fuck? I don't care about anybody. I was concerned about myself and my whole family. I don't even know what that means, but that's what Owen says. All you had to do, Bret. I knew your leg was bad. I'm glad you knew that, Owen. You just want to put your sharpshooter on. Kicked your leg out of your leg. Never gets old. That's why you're sitting there, and that's why I kicked your leg out of your leg. It sucks when that happens.
There's no selfishness in me. There's not a selfish bone in my body. He cost himself the WWF Tag Team belts, and he cost me, his little brother, a guy that's never had the taste of a WWF belt before.
I've never had the taste of a WWE. You ain't supposed to eat it.
Just worries about himself.
You can if you want.
I care about you in the Royal Rumble, Bret, because this is my opportunity. I'm in it too. I'm not worried about you getting cost the WWF belt. I'm worried about myself. And I'm going to get that belt because I didn't get a chance to win the tag belts because of you.
We know, Owen.
Count on myself.
Look at Todd.
Take the WWF belt. I'll win that Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Let's go back to ringside. Let's just go back to Vince McMahon.
That was just a word salad of a promo there by Owen, but it was awesome. Awesome nonetheless. DiBiase loves it. Of course he does.
That's the smartest thing that I have ever heard come out of Owen Hart's mouth. He has finally realized that if he wants it, he's got to do whatever he's got to do, and he's got to go out there on his own, not depend on his big brother, and not sit in the shadow of his big brother. He's got to go do it on his own, and I applaud you, Owen Hart.
DiBiase loves it.
What a tag team partner he was in there with. Ted DiBiase, that was his brother. There's a big difference.
Listen, McMahon, big difference. I have become a rich man. I was a very successful wrestler for one reason. I don't care if it was my brother. I don't care if it was my mother. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to be number one. And Owen Hart just realized that in business, whether it's wrestling or any other,
I love Ted
that's what you got to do.
laying it down for us, spitting them facts.
Then that's what it takes. If that's what it takes to get the job done, that's what you do. That kid just won't.
Yeah, Steiners were here, Roman, but they were on their way out. Oh, yeah, I forgot about the IC match. This is Razor's token IC title defense that he does every year, 94, 95, 96. And he worked for the world in 93. Razor's never been in a Royal Rumble. How weird is that? Fake Razor was in one. Oof. Oh, JR. Oh, Radio WWF, I bet. I think this is when they were trying to do that radio shit. And they had Gorilla and Ross calling. No, Royal Rumble is the only of the big pay-per-views that I'm missing from my collection. I have not yet been to a Royal Rumble ever. But I've been to a couple WrestleManias. I've been to King of the Ring. I've been to a couple Survivor Series. I've been to SummerSlam. Been to everything else. He looks good in the blue, doesn't he? Oh, JR is salty about Owen. I like it. Yeah, even when he came back in 2002, he came back, the NWO came in February. And by then, you know, Plane Ride from Hell happened and he was fired, so he never got a chance ever to work a Rumble, which is nuts. The only Razor Ramon to ever do it was Rick Bogner. How crazy is that? Who I believe he was in 97. Razor was one of the best looking stars. Get that sign out of the way. The best stars of that time period who looked so good with the title. Like with the IC title. Oh, yes, Zane. I think I did apologize to you for missing. I think I was signing off right when you were sending it. Thank you for the $5, dude. I really appreciate that. And yeah, sorry we caught you right at the end last night. It was only an hour and 15-minute long review. We knocked it out pretty early and quick because there was only a 6-match card. Yeah, I remember Gorilla and JR, I guess, were doing Radio WWF. Like, they were calling these matches on the radio. I don't know where. I never heard it. And if it was local radio, maybe there in the Northeast area, I'm not really sure. This is pre-internet days, so I'm not really sure how they were doing it. But I remember them talking about it all the time. And it is pretty cool that Gorilla and JR did work together a little bit. Those are two fucking legends, man. Pretty sure Shawn will make an appearance here because they're going to be doing the ladder match at WrestleMania 10. Shawn had been suspended as champion, came back and took Jerry Lawler's place at Survivor Series, that's where Lawler, that's another reason why you got DiBiase here is because Lawler is absent because of the suspension or whatever. And Shawn was back, and then he was going to resume his deal with Razor with the 2 belts. AJ Daniels, good to see you, man. glad you're here. Feel free to keep that thumb button mashing going on if you'd like. Gorilla and Jesse was great, but I preferred Gorilla and Bobby. They worked more. Gorilla and Jesse usually only did Manias. And Gorilla and Bobby were more weekly because you would see them on prime time. They would work Challenge. And then usually back in the day, Jesse would work with Vince on Superstars. And sometimes Saturday Night's Main Event as well. But generally, Gorilla and Jesse weren't a pair unless it was WrestleMania. Or maybe some of those early days, like pre-WrestleMania days, calling matches at the Garden and stuff. They would work a lot then. But mid-'80s to 90s, it was usually just that. Damn. Razor takes that top rope bump really well. He bumps hard for that. Fucking Irwin R. Shyster. This shit is so ridiculous. Mike Rotundo is a pretty damn good wrestler, and I think they could have just had him be that and still compete for the title and stuff, but I'm glad they didn't put the Intercontinental title here on IRS. It might work against Irwin. Owen fitting in the $1 Million Corporation? Possibly. Feels like they needed that cornerstone type of guy. He did. I was like, I didn't know what kind of sell job that was for Irwin. Yeah, I don't know if Owen would have had to necessarily wear $ tights. They could have built the group or the faction a little similar to like the Heenan family or something, and he could have been the Mr. Perfect, you know. But in a lot of ways, I guess at the time, I'm glad he stayed out of the corporation because I didn't love the group. Yeah, Bobby Heenan had just left a couple weeks at Survivor Series the year before and was already on WCW, I think, by the time this show aired. And cool to see. I always like hearing Gorilla Monsoon calling a match with his son in the ring. Joey Morello would pass away 7 months after this match. Sad. Actually, probably closer to 6 months. I'm pretty sure, too, I think we've talked about this before, when Morella passed, he passed away in a car accident right after a set of WWE TV tapings. So he was on TV reffing matches after he died, which was weird. Anthony, you and me both. I thought WWE Network was a pain in the ass. Peacock is 100 times worse. You can't find anything on there. PJ Walker, shout out. Was PJ there beating Irwin or something? PJ Walker is just incredible. Roman haven't been to a AEW event yet, except for the Jericho Cruise a couple of years ago. There was a Dynamite taping on there when Omega and Page won the tag team titles, but that's it. They haven't been out to the West Coast close enough for me to go, but I will be at Double or Nothing in Vegas. We watched Madcap Moss wrestle in suspenders last night. Now we got Irwin in these things. I have a rule on one set of suspenders per month I'm allowed to see on wrestling TV, so I'm over my limit. Oh, and there goes Morella. Morella is down. Clobbered. What's Shyster doing? Uh-oh, Razor's got the briefcase now. Nice, right. Oh, my God, he legit hit him right in the face with it. There's no referee. The tie is over his face. That's great. No bunkhouse buck matches. I saved those for the birthdays. Yeah, Razor's into this top rope belly to back, or second rope belly to back. Oh. Ref is still down. No one gets up from the Razor's Edge, not even Razor Ramon. That's right, Sean hit him with the Razor's Edge. Speaking of Sean, here he comes with the bogus. Oh. You know what? I'm pretty sure. I think they do a false finish. Or not a false finish, but a restart. They did restarts all the time back in these days, man. Bam Bam Bigelow beat Bret Hart at the King of the Ring. Same thing. Yeah, these guys are not moving around. Razor is going to sell that belt shot this hard? Look at Irwin doesn't even know what's going on. He's like, oh, shit. He's like, Razor fell asleep. Sweet. He's taking a nap. Is that it? And now Joey Morella miraculously comes to 1, 2, 3. New Intercontinental Champion. Closest Irwin ever came to a singles title. The real YouTube? What timestamp? Right above my head. Just sync up. Sync up to our timer. That's where we're at. Oh, Earl is here to save the day. I'm really glad we never had to see Irwin wear that Intercontinental title. Look at Joey Morella is just like woozy. Wake him up. Oh, look. Look, there's the other belt. We got 2 of these things. Oh, no, now Razor. Oh, now this is going to count? Oh, my God. And Razor retains. Right on. Irwin. Miscarriage of justice. Oh, now Razor's got both belts, huh? Yeah, the one Razor has is a little golder and a little stiffer. You could tell it's new. You could tell it was the backup belt because Shawn didn't send his back. Even when Razor won it and beat Rick Martel, when he was putting it on, you could tell it was a brand new title. It was stiff as shit. You've all bought a replica belt, right? You know, when they come in the mail, they're all stiff. Takes them a while to loosen up. Oh, Undertaker's building the casket. Double wide, double deep, or was that Kamala? Double deep. Oh my, Paul Bearer is in full Paul Bearer mode. Huh. Undertaker carving shit by hand. Yokozuna.
Merry Christmas, Yokozuna.
Oh. Oh, I never knew Undertaker ho-ho-ho'd back in 94 or 3. Yeah, Razor technically lost the title 3 straight Royal Rumbles, technically. No wonder Yokozuna was shitting his pants. I would be too. Oh yeah, you didn't even see it, man. Maybe I'll put point arrows to it next time. That rotting flesh you call an entourage. Oh. I don't make mistakes. I bury them. Yoko's like, I am so fucked. Look at how scared he is. He's like, I don't want to die, y'all. Yeah, Yoko and Taker were buddies. Yeah, this match is next, I believe. It's time for our final 2 matches. This one and then the Royal Rumble itself. Oh, I love that they shut the lid.
The only thing you will hear, Yokozuna, is the hounds of hell.
Joe Shipley, good question. Why didn't the referee run out earlier and say the Quebecers were using a cane? Maybe the cane didn't cause the finish. I don't know. They got that thing on a damn horse and buggy. They're going to ride that shit to Providence. Oh, the deterioration process. No thanks. Ben, 96 was the first Rumble entrance theme year. Oh, and there's That's kind of creepy right there.
Yokozuna, you shouldn't be afraid.
This was the best Undertaker to me.
You should be.
As soon as the purple started happening, you know, not that the character still wasn't badass. It was just, this is when he was at his most authentic to me.
Allegations around here lately. There's some home cooking going on, some pork barrel politics. I signed a contract.
Look at Stan Lane and Jim Cornette standing next to each other. Holy shit. That's awesome.
But the contract that I get back in the mail has some fine print stuck in it by Paul Bearer saying it's going to be some kind of match where you got to win, you got to stuff your opponent in some kind of big box. Now let me explain something. I watched that contract carefully and there was no fine print in the one that I signed. It was added afterwards. There's people trying to create trouble between me and the master, Mr. Fuji.
No, you just didn't read. Yoko's so worried.
What's he gonna do? Squash the casket?
Squash the casket. Vince is doing the interview. Squash the casket. Yeah, I gotta see it too. Shh. Damn, Yoko. Pussing out. It is the same thing with Andre. Fucking Jake had him so freaked out over that snake. I'm like, Andre can't be a bitch, but he was. Look at Yoko. Same thing. Wrestling. Is that what that's? Rest in peace. I get it. I thought they spelled wrestling wrong.
Pinfalls do not count. There is no disqualification, no countout, and no submission. The only way to win is to stuff your opponent.
Stuff. Howard always describing the rules perfectly. Look at you're out too early. Wait for your music, Mr. Fuji. Look at that beautiful belt on Yoko. Love that championship. Oh, Cornette was amazing. Back in these days, man. Yoko is freaked out. I only have one cat located. I don't know where the other one is. I think Vince and DiBiase just said, I think this is the first time the championship's ever been contended in a casket match. You should know this. You shouldn't think. Yeah, Kamala and Taker had the first one. They were calling it a coffin match back in those days. They might have been doing this on live events or house shows back in the day, too. Might do an occasional one. But I think this is only the second time it's been on TV or pay-per-view. And here comes that big-ass box. Hand-built, handcrafted by Mark Calloway. Double deep, double wide. You could really fit two Yokozunas in that thing. I am being cremated. I am claustrophobic as a motherfucker. You are not putting me in a box. Ain't no way. Cremate me, roll me in a joint, and smoke me. But keep me out of a box. Yeah, body bag matches. There was. That's right. There's weasel suit matches. Wow, they have their sign lights up. Yeah, Ted DiBiase. It's kind of funny he's on commentary for this because he's going to be a big part of the SummerSlam match. I'll tell you this, man. I'm glad that when they did the Undertaker versus Undertaker thing, they didn't make it like the other one was the Undertaker's brother, because then what would have you done with Kane when he came in, you know? So I'm glad that it was more of an imposter, and you saved the brother thing for down the road. Look at Yoko. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, man. Mickey D's, you think having a 5-minute limit on that is outrageous? You don't know nothing about YouTube and what a horrible fucking mess some fucking trolls and bots can be, so we just do that to try to keep a limit on it. That's all. A lot of channels do it. It's not weird. The only one weird is people thinking it's outrageous. Donnie, Patty, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for that. A 600-pound mountain of jellyfish. Nice. Ugh, I hate Kid Rock, Ben. I didn't hate the American Badass because the American Badass I think was a sample of Sad But True by Metallica, which I did like, but Kid Rock sucks. Look at that. Taker's so big. In my early Undertaker trivia, I want to say that Mr. Fuji did have Undertaker for like a cup of coffee. I think there's something to where he at least escorted him to the ring once or twice before they went with Paul Bearer. If I remember right. But it was so fucking quick. I'd have to look at that up or research it if that's even true or where that memory's coming from. But I don't think for some reason, I don't think it went directly from Brother Love to Paul Bearer. I think there was they tested a couple things in between. I love that spot. They did that spot at Survivor Series 2, and Yoko shit himself. I like how Yoko has to basically get a running start to get into the ring from the apron. No issue with Knoxville being in the Rumble. No big deal. They do that shit all the time. At least they're going to put a celebrity in there that'll take a fucking bump. A lot more than what Drew Carey did. An equalizer. Ugh, big chair shot to Yoko. Oh, yes. I was like, where's the ref? It's a casket match. Oh, and one to the head. And Yoko falls down like a tree. Oh, my God. I'm looking at the box art right here to the Royal Rumble. It's probably hard to see, but here you got the 1, 2, 3 kid with the no eyebrow thing from when he got his eyebrow shaved. That's the best. I'm glad that's cemented in forever in time. Oh, big salt. That seemed like actual salt, too, not powder. Sometimes they use powder, which is annoying. Oh, Taker eats a chair shot. Fans in the front row like it. Yeah, they would revisit this whole thing 11 months later at Survivor Series, and they'd have Chuck Norris in there for that. Hate that night. Bret would drop the belt to Backlund. Ugh. Randy Savage had just left, like literally 2 weeks before. Not a fond memory. Survivor Series 94 for me. There was just so many things going on that I didn't like.
Yokozuna's already had a taste of being the World Wrestling Federation champion. And once you've tasted that, you're going to pull out all the stops. He wants it real bad. He wants to get it back. He wants to keep it.
What is he talking about? Ted DiBiase's like, Yokozuna's already had a taste of the championship. He wants to get it back. I'm like, he's still chewing on that championship. He hasn't finished tasting it yet. He's still wearing the belt. Oh, YouTube, are you talking about the MRI in terms of like the claustrophobia deal? Yeah. I could maybe handle that. Like, I can handle being on a plane even though I don't like it. It's more of the idea of just being locked in a fucking casket. There's stories of, like, you know, hundreds of years ago before you really had good tools of knowing if somebody's actually dead or not, motherfuckers being buried alive all the time. They'd exhume a body for whatever reason, and they'd see claw marks all on the inside of the casket or whatever. It's like, Jesus, could you imagine dying that way? I'd have a panic attack and just have a heart. I wouldn't even know what to do. I would just die. I'd probably just have a heart attack and literally just, I would die of panic. And there's nothing you can even do to kill yourself early. You just have to wait to suffocate or something. You know, just like, ugh. Whew, couldn't even imagine. Couldn't even imagine. Yeah, I liked Diesel and everything, but I was still bummed out about Bret dropping the belt. We got a big choke slam coming to Yoko. That was the worst looking one ever. Okay, help me out. What was the worst chokeslam ever? The one we just saw or the one Taker gave to Hogan at Judgment Day in 2002? That one was pretty bad, too. Big DDT. Do the sit-up. Do the sit-up. Back in these days, you could actually see skin on the Undertaker's arms. 5-inch chokeslam. Maybe not even that. All right. In Yoko's casket, I could handle being in one of those for a few minutes because at least got some room to move. But, like, just being confined, like, oh, my God, I have a panic attack just thinking about it. This huge behemoth. He's in. Shut it. New champion. This is it. I can't believe they're taking so long to close the lid. Oh, crush. Look at this. Undertaker's getting beat up by his own friends. These guys are homies. Kabuki. At the time watching this, I remember thinking this was Pat Tanaka. But Great Kabuki really is a person. And Tenru's a boss. He's a tough son of a bitch. Yeah, he's still out. Oh, now Bam Bam's in there. And so Fuji's got these guys, got Kabuki and Tenru there also to try to fend off Lex Luger in the Rumble, but They can help out Yoko while they're at it. Look at Yoko's like sleeping. He's got the meat sweats. Yeah, back when I was a kid, I thought it was Pat Tanaka. I just thought they'd slap face paint on him. And then I would learn later on that it's Kabuki. Look at Yoko stumbling out. I love this. Oh my God, Paul Bearer beat up Mr. Fuji and Jim Cornette. Go Paul Bearer. Pretty sure Mr. Fuji would fuck him up in a fight, but whatever. Kabuki's in there. If any match defined the term Kabuki-ish, it's this fucking match. Was WF good in 94? Depends on your reference point. Looking back on it now, probably not. If you lived it at the time, also probably not, but it was okay. If you're a wrestling fan, you're a wrestling fan, even in the bad times. Adam Bomb is in there now. The bucket of salt. Chronic is in there. Here comes Jeff Jarrett. Don't worry, Jeff. 1 year from now, you'd be winning the IC title. 8 against. So here comes the head shrinkers now, too. More BSKs. Undertaker's in there with 4 BSK guys. I should bring out Savio just for fun. Get Quang out there. Look at Paul Bearer. What are you going to do? Please go to the top rope and jump off and hit. And don't forget the previous year at Royal Rumble, Taker got fucked up too by Gonzalez. Oh, Diesel's here too. Jesus. Now it's Click, BSK, and Japan. Yikes. That's a bad neighborhood. Look at Bam Bam. Close the fucking door, man. Get him in there. His arms are out, you morons. Like, how dumb they are. Just put him in there. Hit him with a chair. Oh, now he's out. Taker's fighting his ass off. Jesus. Oh, no. There you go. Oh, look at Paul Bearer took a good bump. And Yoko's got the urn. Oh, and he opened the... Oh, the urn's all smoking. Well, that's creepy. I don't know. It's the spirit of the Undertaker leaving. How do you make that happen? Is that like dry ice or something? Like, what do you do? People in this field of special effects? What would you stick in that thing to where when you open the lid, it started smoking? Or would you have to drop... You probably had to drop something in it or something. I don't know. But that's creepy. Damn, they are just... How many guys we got? 3, 6, 9, I think 10. Everybody's hitting their finishes on him. God. Yeah, I count 10 guys in there. Jesus. Poor Undertaker. Oh my God, now Fat Two's going to hit him with a 1-2. I love Rikishi's top rope splash. Even more, way more devastating looking than Snuka's ever was. Oh, a smoke bomb. Okay, yeah. Because look, it's already burnt out now, so. I guess I never, as a kid, fucking around with fireworks, I guess I never bought a smoke bomb. I didn't realize it. That's probably all it was. And there he goes. They're going to kick him in. Close it this time. Don't close it on his hands. Got 11 human brains in that ring. You should be able to figure this out. It ain't rocket surgery. Boom. So disappointing. Like, how many times does Undertaker have to die at the Royal Rumble? Like, 4 years after this, they burned him. How do you like your Undertaker? What's up, Ref? Hi, Greg. My family has COVID, and they hate me for being unvaxxed. Well, then get vaxxed. Nothing's going to happen to you. It's not spy software. You're going to be just fine. I promise your tits won't fall off or whatever people are worried about. Ain't going to happen. Just take it. Help everybody out. They're carrying it back. So now we got to get the big special effects thing or whatever the fuck happens. The 98 ending was way gnarlier because they burned him. Like, burned. Where are they planning on taking him? Uh-oh. Oh, look, now it's smoking some more. Look at Yoko still shitting his pants. So weird. That's creepy as shit, isn't it? Creepy. There's our thumbnail right there. I was like, well, I know what I'm going to use for this episode.
Of the Undertaker lives within the soul of all mankind.
It's kind of cool how he mentions mankind in this promo. 2 more years, guys. Then we'd get mankind.
The origin of which cannot be explained. The answer lies in the everlasting spirit.
I had no idea.
And all mankind will witness the rebirth of the Undertaker. I will not rest in peace.
And he's done. And this is before, like, the Titantron and stuff. So it's just that little checkered video wall they had back then. It's like fucking 3D thing. And so now you can see it here. You can see that body double. But it was hard to see this on 1994 television. You know, just it's grainier, you know. And so I couldn't tell anything. I saw nothing. Apparently, this was not Marty Jannetty, as some had thought for many years. Oh, now I see it. I see it a lot better now. Yeah, it was really tough to see back in those days. It was cool, definitely cool for the time. Oh, yeah, see, now I see it much better. I haven't really watched this in, like, super clear, sharp... Because even, like, when I would watch this, I have this, like, in my collection on my hard drive. If I'm going to watch the show, I'd pull it up on there, and it's a little grainy because it comes from a VHS. But that's, like, one of the best looks I've ever had at that. Bye, Undertaker. That's a shame. I haven't researched this myself, but a guy that helps me with some facts mentioned to me that this has been recently been debunked, but I don't know who it was, if it was not Marty Jannetty. Jim Cornette hated this. I'm sure he did. And he'd be back. It was kind of weird not seeing Undertaker at WrestleMania 10. So he must have known going into this that he's going to be missing WrestleMania. Ow. Yeah, Titantron came about right after Shawn lost his smile. Might have even been the next show. Not totally sure. Actually, no, it wasn't. It might have been the show after the next show. The show after Shawn lost his smile, Sid won the title, but it wasn't Titantron yet. Might have been the week after that. Here comes the Macho Man's going to win. I forgot Macho Man's in this too. I'm going to crush Crush along the way. He's mad at Crush. See, they're playing the Rumble song here, but in the intro, they played some weird shit that sounded generic and dubbed. Like, what are these crackheads doing? I like that Diesel's glove was see-through. Who was doing Doink at this time? That wasn't Matt Bourne, I don't think. It didn't sound like Lombardi either. Oh, Lex. Okay. Lex says it's going to be him. Do you believe him?
Lex Luger, ladies and gentlemen, would not be denied his placement in the Royal Rumble. But then again, anything can happen in the Royal Rumble. Anything can happen in the World Wrestling Federation.
Teddy B has to be like, wait until you see what I'm going to do to Lex this summer, Vince. You're going to love it.
I still can't believe it when you saw me
I got to go talk to Tatanka. I'll be right back.
in the Royal Rumble. I think it's a ripoff. He had his opportunity. The clause said that. Let's not hear that.
Ray Apollo was Doink. Okay. He has the voice. There's no way that voice was Lombardi. Even if Steve Lombardi tried to talk like that, he would not be able to do it. So, yeah, I knew it wasn't him, but...
There's no doubt going to be gunning for Lex Luger. Another question, however, remains is whether or not Bret Hart will return to the Royal Rumble matchup. And we are ready for the WWF Royal Rumble matchup. Let's go to Howard.
All right, here we go. I have no idea who the first two are.
Earlier today, the 30 participants who entered drew numbers at random. And
See who number 1 or 2 is. And 2, excuse me.
numbers 1 and 2 enter. And then every 1.5 minutes thereafter
Oh, 1.5. They're speeding it up.
will enter according to the numbers they drew.
Because the talent was weaker. So they sped it up. And then they'd speed it up even more in 95. They'd do a minute. Because the entire field was fucking well done and a bunch of nobodies.
The one man remaining in the ring after
We know the rules, Howard. Just get to it. I want to see who number 1 and 2 is. He's going to say the whole thing. Who is it? Oh, the Steiners, yes. It's either Rick or Robbie. I can't tell from this. Oh, it is Scott. Okay. Scotty Steiner. Look how good he looks. Look at that Scotty Steiner. I think since they used to do the tag teams really close together, so we'll probably get a heel here, and then Robbie will come in. And it might be not Quebecers, but who the fuck? I can almost pinpoint who they're going to work with here. Oh, Shrinkers. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I hope it's Rikishi. It's Samu. Samu and Scotty Pump. That's awesome. Pre-Big Papa Pump. Nobody's hollering or hearing him right now. And he definitely doesn't have any freaks except for the 2 people that are coming to the ring right now. But this is a kind of end of Steiners in WWE. This is my favorite Scott Steiner, was this Steiner. I thought he was so good. Yeah, both of these guys have got family members in WWE right now. Yeah, I think he's got a little bit less than 33 and a third chance to win this one. I got to knock out a super chat here too as well. 2 of them, which I will get to in 1 second. Uh-oh, it's already time. I like how fast this is going. Yep, told you. There's Breaker Sr. Double up, and you know Fat 2's got to be next. I'm going to go get another cold one and then knock out these super chats. Be right back. All right. Let me knock out this super chat from Chris Miner from a few minutes ago. Thanks, dude, for that $5, man. Crazy prediction. 5 years from now, that show Undertaker will kidnap the owner of WWF's daughter. Very radical call, but you have a feeling. You are probably right. I was front and center for a lot of that early ministry stuff when they did the deal with Steph. Where to, Stephanie? Oh, my God. Great shit. That was my favorite Undertaker. He was starting to make believers out of a lot of people. When he tried to embalm the Stone Cold and he was like speaking in tongues and shit. Oh, my God. Jay Lambo, how many doinks were there? There were 38.5 doinks in total. And that's including Dink. Who's next? It's got to be Rikishi. It'd be funny if Too Cool's music started playing. Oh, Sammy did the Foley spot. Oh, no, it's Quang. That's Quang. I'm surprised Quang didn't come out in the casket match to round out the BSK crew. Oh, Steiners are going to go at it? Nope. I love that Samu did the Cactus Jack spot. That's how he lost his ear. Oh, he got misted. Rick Steiner got misted. 951, Dave. Thanks for the $5. What's up, good mic work? I got an opinion on my top 3 dream feuds. Schultz versus That almost made me laugh. David Schultz versus Stone Cold, Latino Heat versus Bryan Danielson, and Kurt Angle versus Owen Hart. They all sound awesome to me. That Schultz and Austin feud would be something else. Give me John Stossel slapping Schultz against 98 Austin. Oh, Lord. That would make a good Attitude Era pay-per-view main event. Eddie and Danielson would be lovely. Owen and Angle, Bret and Angle. A lot of good ones there. Oh, you got another one there. Thank you, dude. Appreciate 5 more from you. Yo, good mic work. Since we both love the great green gimmick, can I get a top 3 favorite strains? I like White Runts. I'm usually not too concerned with the strains. I look at the menu and get the best shit they have. It's kind of what I do every night. So I have an expensive taste. I've never had blueberry muffins, but I've had gelato and White Runts. I got to look at my text message to see what I have now, because I kind of forget. Where are you? Owen. Oh yeah, Owen is here, by the way. Where are you? I'm just looking for. I just made an order 3 days ago, so I'm looking for. Oh, I got Gorilla Glue number 5 right now, so that's what I've got. I've had that a few times too. The time before that, I had cookies and cream. Time before that, I had Calafia Kush. Time before that, I had blue cookies, and that's been about the last. Oh, and Double Dream. So that's been about the last 4 months of orders for me. Has been those, plus our fun little candies. It's kind of funny seeing Owen back in there with the Steiners after they had... Ooh, Owen with a low blow, and he got him out. Goodbye, Mr. Breaker. That's sad. Because Owen and Bret kind of made nice with the Steiners after their battle on Coliseum Video, but now Owen's a fresh heel. Quang. Who's this? Oh, it's Bart Gunn. Here comes Randy Orton. I always thought Bart Gunn looked like Randy Orton. Doesn't he? Like, look at him. Doesn't he look like Randy Orton? He does to me. Even with the mustache, he kind of looks like him. Bart with Owen Hart. Bart and Hart. Oh, yeah, you would imagine that Owen's going to have mega heat. He just turned heel an hour before this, or less. Oh, we got to go back to the dressing room. I think this is where Luger gets jumped or something. I already know what they're going to do here. I remember this. Trying to make things very hard, putting a lot of obstacles in front of Bret and Luger. Making it seem like neither one is going to make the event, and then they both win it. So that's the swerve they're trying to tell you here. But I can tell you, coming from me, somebody who watched it that night, it didn't surprise me that it came down to Bret and Luger at the end. They were telegraphing the shit out of that. You know, the one thing that did surprise me, though, was the outcome of that casket match. I thought for sure Taker was taking the title, but I had no idea he was hurt. Had I known that, probably would have. This must be Billy coming down. Oh, my God. I forgot that Kevin Nash eliminates 66 guys out of this Rumble. He's going to eliminate all 4 of these dudes, guaranteed. This is early Nash, too. He'd not been wrestling that much. The Steiners were instrumental in getting Nash to WWE. They were still in WCW when he was there as Vinny Vegas. And Sean's told the story a bunch of times how he saw him and wanted to get him there. And it was either, I forgot which one it was, but one of the Steiners gave Sean like Nash's number or something. And that's what got him to the WWE. Or no, I had that backwards. The Steiners were in WWF with Shawn. He got the number from them. But they were also in WCW when Nash was there previously, too. No, don't get rid of Bart. He's my favorite. Save Bart. Oh, Bart's gone. Who got credited with that elimination? Diesel. Oh, there goes Scott. Future NWO cohorts. It's kind of cool to think about. Oh, goodbye, Owen. Future in your house opponents. And Savio. BSK versus the Click. Here we go. I think we all know who's going to win that. Goodbye, Savio. Quang Vega is gone. Now what Diesel needs to do is sit up on the top rope and go like this to his watch. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Look at him going after his legs. This would be a very interesting match in 11 months in Madison Square Garden. I forgot Backlund and Diesel work. Oh, wow. Backlund's got him. I think Backlund could have taken Nash in a real fight at this. Whoa, look how close he is. Pfft. Backlund the previous year had lasted over an hour. Or close to an hour at least. Yeah, Backlund was way too excited there. He almost fucked that whole deal up for Nash. I've never even heard Nash mention that in any shoot interview before. That he was booked to eliminate, there goes Backlund, like 11 guys here. What if Backlund would have accidentally eliminated him there? It wouldn't have affected the finish at all, but it would have fucked the story they're trying to tell, getting him over. Chill out, Bob Backlund. You almost ruined things there. Is that Broken Skull with Nash out tonight, or is that a previous one? If that's new as of tonight, I'll be watching it late tonight. Hell yeah, Dave. I'm froggy too. These stoner patches are 500 milligrams. I ate the whole thing. So yeah. There's Billy Gunn. Look at how, well, he's in decent shape there, but he's in so much better shape now. Bart was in way better shape. Bart was the more jacked of the two Guns back in those days. Billy didn't get in shape till the Outlaw days or the Rockabilly days. And then there he goes. NWO meet DX. Threw him over the top. Fans are into it. They're cheering. Diesel. That fucking mullet, man. God. What were we thinking? Okay, so yeah, here's Kabuki and Tenryu getting at it. Getting Luger. So now they're going to make it look like Luger and Bret are both. Could you imagine that if neither Luger or Bret would be in this match? Who the fuck would win it? Diesel, I guess. Okay, yeah, it's an older. I thought so. I thought I'd already seen Nash on that. I was like, if there's a new, the newest one I watched was just a couple weeks ago with DDP, which was just a little bit too emotional for me. Thought he went a little bit overboard on the waterworks there, but whatever. It was still a good watch. And DDP's awesome. Oh, didn't know that. Vikings. Hey, Vikings, they're playing right now, aren't they? Are they getting their ass kicked or are they winning? Virgil, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, yeah, Ted DiBiase on commentary. That's kind of funny. Oh, it's 20-3. All right. Not looking good for them Vikings. I wasn't aware of Sasha, though. Hopefully she's okay. Virgil and Diesel. More NWO members. There goes Virgil. Goodbye. Damn. Yeah, we'll keep on our eye on that Sasha Banks situation. Hopefully she's all right. Last thing WWE needs right now is more women on the shelf, especially with the Rumble coming up. Hope she's all right. I think the number for Diesel in this, is 11. I don't know what we're up to now, but he's got some time to chill. He can have a picnic in the ring if he wants. I'll join you, Diesel. Macho Man. It's Macho Man. It's Macho Man. All we need is Umanga and Tatanka. It's like, you're not going to eliminate me, big boy. Two and a half years later, Nash would take a double axe to the crotch of Savage. He would go down, and then out would come Hogan. But we didn't know whose side he was on. And then he made that clear. I don't know, to me, this almost looks like a more modern camera effect. When they do the hard cam, it looks like the crowd is slightly fuzzed out and the wrestlers are more in focus. Do y'all notice that? It almost looks like it's been digitally enhanced. Unless I just got I'm looking at a 1080p computer monitor here, so I don't know. Final Rumble for Macho Man, yep. He'd work Mania. That would be his last wrestling pay-per-view. He wouldn't work King of the Ring, and he wouldn't work SummerSlam. He'd be there, teamed up with Art Donovan, King of the Ring, and he hosted SummerSlam, and then after that, no mas. Still hurts. Okay, I'm not making up or make-believe in the camera thing, right? That's really there? Jeff Double J. Boy, y'all see the picture. Where did he turn up? He turned up, was it Game Changer? I forgot where he turned up over the weekend. He was looking more like Jerry Jarrett than Jeff Jarrett. You forget how long Jarrett was there before he won the Intercontinental title a whole year later. Came in 93. He wants to be a country singer. Going to the top. Yeah, there's been a few Jarrett Savage matches. I think Savage worked him a little bit when they did the cross promotion with WWE and USWA. And their fathers know each other for sure. Goodbye, Jarrett, with the bump over the top. Savage back after Diesel. I love it. By the way, Casio is supporting this, sponsoring this event, in case you didn't know. Oh, Savage sees him. This is the same. They do this shit all the time with Savage. In 92, he wanted to get it. Jake Roberts. He even eliminated himself just to get to him. Savage is pretty subdued here. He's not going completely nuts. It's a whole lot of WCW 1997 going on right there. I was in attendance. I was at the Raw. I was in the fourth row for Crush's last night in the WWE. He left. He was pissed about the screw job. So they had Kane kick his ass, and he left. Down goes Crush. Yeah, Drew, Jeff, and Roman, and possibly Sasha all in a matter of weeks. Although with Roman, he'll be back. That's COVID. He'll be back next Friday. But, yeah, some of those others sucks. I just hope Sasha's all right. You don't want to be losing her this close to Rumble and Mania. You did AJ strut when finishing the exam, and that's disturbing. It's Dink and Doink. Maybe we can combine Dink and Doink's name and call him Doink. Oh, Savage is... Man, they eliminated Savage on a split screen for real? I didn't even catch who got him, Crush or Diesel. Look at Doink just laughing. He's like, this is hilarious. This is awesome. Vince just said Crush and Diesel are the two biggest men in the WWE. No, they're not. Look at this Doink. It's kind of interesting, Doink and Crush, because that's how Doink got introduced, was attacking babyface Crush. So that's kind of interesting to see them fighting here. Yeah, Crush owes Doink a lot. Doink ain't even selling this. All right, 5 seconds left. Here comes somebody else. Oh, it's Bam Bam and Luna. Put Luna in there. Bam Bam's probably still got some issues with Doink. They'd be wrestling a mixed tag, right, at WrestleMania. They're letting Bam Bam in. Yeah, have at it. Go beat up the clown. We'll chill over here. Yeah, babyface Doink was shit. I hated it. Hated it. Loved heel Doink, though. Goodbye, Doink. Oh, my God. Jesus. What a bump. Nice job, Ray Apollo. Oh, now they're turning on Bam Bam. I love it. Bam Bam's like, son of a bitch, man. You fuckers tricked me. Crush went to prison sometime between now and when he returned in 96. Although I think Crush would actually be in the 95 Rumble. So it must have been in 95. Is my guess on that. Would have been funny to see like Doink and Bam Bam feud, but then Dink and Luna fall in love and they try to bridge the gap. Oh, God. It's Big Daddy Mabel with Big Daddy Cool. Look at Oscar just talking shit all the way to the ring. Oscar was good. He could rap. I liked Oscar. Oh, God, they're chanting Whoop There It Is. I didn't understand the Whoop There It Is thing because even when that song came out in like 93, people made fun of it. Everybody was like, this is the dumbest fucking song ever. But the song got over somehow. But it wasn't cool to be walking around saying Whoop There It Is. Like, that's not something as somebody who was 17 years old at the time was doing. I think the song was more of a joke, I always thought. The way it was like perceived by my friends and stuff, and nobody was like jamming out to it in their car. Nobody was jamming out to it in their car. Nobody, ever. I never heard anyone. So I don't know why, but Vince is so fucking uncool. He probably thinks the song was super over, and so he puts it on their gear. But there's a pop culture phenomenon, that Whoop There It Is. People still say it. It's kind of like the Whoop There It Is. There was a second one, and it was Who Let the Dogs Out. Then so Whoop There It Is happened again with Who Let the Dogs Out. It's the same thing. Dumbass song that everybody knows. I don't get it. Bob Holly. Oh, no, it's Sparky Plug. Or no, he was Bob Holly by now. Oh, no, he is still Sparky Plug. I always thought Bob Holly in his pre-WWE days was trying to emulate Bret Hart. He wore a lot of pink. He's got a similar body style and, you know, even hair a little bit and tan. They look alike. Yeah, Knoxville's in the Rumble. It's not that weird. They put weird people in the Rumble all the time. I always point out 2001, Drew Carey. One of the best Rumbles ever. At least Knoxville will go in there and take a bump. I don't know how. Yeah, I have no idea the age of Mabel at this time. You guys can look that up if you want. He was probably pretty young. Bam Bam was also pretty young at this time. There is Shawn. So who we got in there? Holly, Crush, Shawn, Bam Bam, Mabel, and Diesel. It's a fun sixum. Look at Shawn backing off at Diesel. They're teasing it early here. Their friendship would be extremely tumultuous throughout '94, coming to an end at Survivor Series. Oh, yeah, they always do that too, where you got to push your friend over. Crowd showing love to Diesel. I love that. That should have been one of WWE's first clues that you got to start getting away from the normal way you book shows. Like, you can just get over if you're over, you know? And fans are into performances. Fans are into moments. Fans are impressed by people and appreciate efforts and shit like that. Like, it was changing a little bit. Where in the 80s, I don't think a heel would have gotten that same reaction. He could have eliminated 12 guys, but when he left, fans would be throwing fucking water bottles at him and shit. Mo. Sir Mo. I always thought Mo looked like a real large Jeffrey from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Master William. I loved Jeffrey. Oh, God. We got two whips going on. That's scary looking shit. Oh, Shawn struggled to skin the cat. He got in there, though. Seeds planted. No, you plant the seed, and then when it grows into a plant, you fuck the plant. What movie is that from? I'm loving these minute-and-a-half intervals. It's easy. Greg the Hammer. That's right. Man, those Razor Ramon shirts are easy to spot in the crowd, aren't they? Jesus, they are very noticeable. Look at Valentine in there. Who's he in there with right now? He's in there with Shawn. He's got a little history with him, maybe. A little history with Bam Bam. None virtually with anybody else in there. I don't recall feuds with him and anybody in there. But he was one of those just signings. He wasn't on TV at this point. They just brought him in for this, which is cool. Valentine never really changed. Like, he looks the same as he always did. Oof. Holly's got Valentine and Mabel just wearing him out. Oh, yeah, Valentine was a knight at the Survivor Series. That's right, he was. Yeah, Donnie, we talked about Razor earlier. He never was. He had three. He had a world title match in '93, followed by 3 consecutive IC title matches, and that's it. And by the time he had another chance to be in one, it was '03. He was already fired. Tatanka, here he comes. Now, let's see if they're going to do the deal here. He beat Bam Bam in the match, right? So let's see if Bam Bam eliminates Tatanka. I feel like that's how WWE would do it at this time. So let's see if it happens or not. Yeah, Jerry Lawler would be back, Jake. He would be back like 3 months after this. He would return at WrestleMania 10. And Vince kind of brought him back as a surprise, but he was off TV because of, I don't want to talk about it, some fucking disgusting shit that he's always into. But that had to blow over, so he was brought back at WrestleMania 10 and was a big part of their play-by-play going forward after that. Now, Valentine and Martel were both kind of in and out. Hammer came in right after Starrcade. Shit, he might have even been there a little bit before then. Went to NWA for a while. Came in right after Starrcade. And had the IC title for a while. And then he was pretty much there until like 92, I think. 91, maybe. Probably 91 is more. And here comes the Kabuki. And then I remember Martel coming in after his run as AWA champion. I think he worked earlier there in and out, but in terms of being there for many years in a row, that didn't happen until probably 86 or 87. And then he was gone by here. Model might be in this Royal Rumble right here, but he wasn't really around much by 94, 95. You guys got to get him up. Mabel's ass is way close. There they go. Now they're pushing him. They might get him. They did. It's a big bump by Mabel. Took, what, 6 guys to get him out? All right, who's in here? Valentine, Crush, Tatanka, Kabuki, Bam Bam, Momo, Holly, and Michaels. And Holly almost has Michaels out. Valentine's over there. Yes, it's the Winged Eagle, Intercontinental, and WCW television title hanging up behind me. Those are the real deals. The ones over here are just the toy belts for decoration. Here comes Lex. Ruben, I have complained about that very point so many times as we're watching Lex Luger just hammer the shit out of everybody here. The field and the roster in general was so unbelievably depleted and weak in 1995. that of all the years to decide, Kabuki's out. Of all the years to decide to not have people do double duty, you picked the worst year of all. So yeah, very strange why they did that. Because you got to think about. But I think they also, at the time, part of their thinking behind it is that they didn't want Undertaker in the match because they didn't have plans for the Undertaker to win it. So they had Undertaker work a singles match on the card. So it would probably be weird if everybody else worked double duty, but he didn't, unless you put him in the match and had a bunch of guys eliminate him, or have Giant Gonzalez return to the company and get him out or something. So I think they just didn't like to worry about how to have to figure out to get a way to get him out when they don't have plans for him to win the Rumble, you know? So I think Taker had a big part to do with that, to be honest. Where here, when he worked the match, it was in the title match, and he died and went to heaven, so he couldn't work the match if he wanted to. So they would have had to do something similar. I think he worked with IRS, and IRS would have had to kill him, and then maybe you could have done it. But very strange why they did that. It's a terrible Royal Rumble. Here comes Tenryu. Now, Tenryu worked WrestleMania 7 against Demolition, and I forgot the name of his tag team partner. I forgot his name now. Japanese wrestler, and he's a son of a bitch, apparently. There is a match of him and Earthquake where he basically just starts shooting on him. And I think he was kind of blacklisted and gone from wrestling ever since then. But he wasn't cooperating in the match. It wasn't quite great Antonio Inoki bad, but it was uncomfortable and weird. I forget his name, though. Yeah, Valentine. I remember Valentine and Backlund working. Yeah, that was Valentine and Piper, basically. Came in. Now, Packers are beating the shit out of the Vikings. No, Michael's not yet. And see, they changed the camera angle, and it's nobody. So they're making you think it's Bret Hart, and he wasn't able to come to the ring. That's sad. Don't currently have a big gold. I should get one, though. I had the very first one that ever came out, but I long since got rid of it. But I should get one just for S&Gs. Vince is like overselling Bret. Oh, he must be so disappointed. Oh, yeah, how easy. Yeah, they definitely don't show the entrant numbers. Not back in these days. All you had to do, you just had to rely on the announcers to keep you up to speed on what guy, what number we were on, or how long people have been in there, that sort of shit. Now fans time and write down this stuff themselves. Oh, I don't remember this guy, Justin, yelling in the mic. This is some sort of match with John Tenta that didn't go well. Oh, maybe he got on the mic and said wrestling is fake. I don't know what. I did not think that was a work, though. I thought he was legitimately not cooperating and shooting. Oh, Koji Katao? Is that who it is? Thank you for that. Got my eye on you. There's the model. Looking so good. Rick was always a stud. He had that short, remember he had that short stint? He came back in like 97 and worked in WCW. He was working Nitro matches. I thought they were going to, they either gave it to him or they were about to give him the TV title, but then he suffered some sort of a weird injury and that was it for him. But he was still in good shape then. I was always a big Ricky Martel fan. Everybody speaks very highly of him. as ugly as wrestling is and how everybody's always got some shit to say about someone or some sort of crazy stories, Martel is always spoken of very well. Professional and just cool. Well, Vince has given us some numbers here. 22 for Crush. How many NWO members we got in there? 1, 2. I would not count Sean. He doesn't count. Just 2. Luger and... No, 3. No, 2. Luger and Crush. Bam Bam, I don't think ever joined. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this ring, with the exception of Tatanka, Sean, Mo. Oh, yeah, a whole bunch of guys. Never mind. I was thinking they all worked in WCW, but no, a bunch of them, half of them didn't. See, look at the camera's different. It's got to be Bret. It's Bret Hart. Here he comes. He's limping. Oh, my heart. You should have seen me. I was losing my mind. I had a great bedroom at my parents' house. My bedroom was over the garage. It was like a loft. So it was kind of separated from the rest of the house. So I basically had my own place to live in as a teenager. And I was up in my room losing my shit right now. I'm like, thank God. Thank God it was a swerve, I think I was saying. Because when they juked us out, when nobody showed up earlier, when he came out, I'm like, sweet. Now look at Crush working over Bret. Bret pinned Crush at SummerSlam in '90 to win the tag titles. Yeah, Jake, I kind of agree. I don't know why Martel dared to come out to this match without his arrogance. That's the first thing I'd make sure that was with me. He's a house of fire. Oh, Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Clark, yes, I have read Bret's book all the way through. I read it straight through, and I think I basically read it a second time. Back, years ago, like 10 years ago or whatever. I would do more reading when I went, traveled on flights and stuff than now where you're just on your phone or listening to podcasts. So I was able to knock Bret's book out a second time, like in airports and on flights. Love that book. My favorite wrestling book ever. Bret's limping, but he's not rolling. You got that right, Espinoza. Let's be glad he's not rolling. Luckily, we are still a few years away from Limp Bizkit and Kid Rock entering our lives and ruining them. So these were still the happy days. Yeah, whatever Ricky's injury was, it was enough to permanently sideline him, which was sad. I kind of liked his little kind of rejuvenation there on Nitro. I was so anti WCW during that war, but I really enjoyed seeing Rick Martel on Nitro because he was a link to my past, and I thought that was cool. I didn't view him as a guy of somebody that was trying to be there to participate in the war or anything like that. He was just there wrestling, earning a paycheck. No politics, no bullshit. No, that doesn't work for me, brother. Just go out there and wrestle, shut the fuck up. That's what he did. Here comes Marty. Fresh off of levitating from heaven, so they say. Look at that, Sean and Marty. I think, because they would work the previous year, don't forget, in that IC match that got Jannetty fired for the IC title. But I think they would also recreate the spot in 1996 when Sean won it. Oh, Marty almost got Sean out. Yeah, that's right. Martel was working with Booker T. Do I remember him working with Disco as well? I thought maybe, but I definitely remember the Booker T matches. Yeah, things were quite different now by this point between the Rockers. They were 2 years removed from their big split. This is it. This is number 30. I don't know who it is either. I have no idea. I can't even think about who it is. Oh, Adam Bomb. All right, we got Chronic in there now. There's Crush gone. Is Crush still in there? Crush might be gone. I don't see him. I think he's gone. Rockers were fun to watch in AWA, especially knowing them now. Because you can see so much of their early beginnings and even their mannerisms and movements and stuff. You can see how all that's being developed. And, yeah, they had some good times in AWA. AWA was one of my sleeper favorite promotions ever. I grew up with it because I lived in the Midwest as a kid. Before realizing, oh, the weather here is shit, I got to bounce. But I got AWA as a kid. That was Bob Holly, Sparky Plug, excuse me. Oh, Vince says that the person that didn't come out is Bastion Booger. He said he got a little sick. And Bastion Booger was Muckin' Singh, who wrestled with Bret and Bret's dad in Stampede. And Booger got a little sick. That's sad. I wonder what made him sick. By the way, since we're almost to the end of the Royal Rumble here, if you haven't hit the thumbs up button yet, you can do that for me. I'd appreciate it. I love that Mo is still hanging on. We got to give Mo some credit. Who would have thought Mo would be in here at this point in the match? Shawn Michaels is given a beating. Oh, yeah, Norman the Lunatic was crazy in WCW. WCW, he was always lumped in with me. I think of Norman the Lunatic with PN News. Even with, like, Oz and Vinny Vega. Like, they had some goofy-ass fucking gimmicks, man. I never understood Bastion Booger's gear. I'm like, was it duct tape? Like, what was happening there? And why in the world would you want to tape parts of your very jiggly top half and accentuate them? I found the whole thing very disturbing. And it was just dirty looking. Like, he looked like he was wearing shit. Like he's wearing like an old-ass diaper or something. He's like an orangutan. I don't think wrestlers are bad today for having no character. I think they're bad for having no personality, especially in WWE. Characters, I don't really need too many of those. I don't want the entire roster filled with school teachers and firemen and trash men and all that shit like we used to have. But a big part of the overall problem, to simplify it, we could talk for 6 hours about what's wrong with wrestling, but to really simplify it is that wrestlers don't connect the way they used to connect. So how do you make them connect the way they used to connect? I'm asking. I don't know. So that's what WWE has to ask themselves. And I don't care so much about characters. I care more about personalities and being able to understand everybody's individual personality traits. Just like you would do in a TV show that you watch or a movie. You know, you understand these characters. It's hard to understand them when WWE writes so much shit for them. And everything is so scripted and you can't get a glimpse into who they are inside. That's all now been completely buried under production and writing and sketch comedy and just a bunch of ridiculous tropes that we see now. So there's a million things wrong. But in terms of wrestlers not being like comic book characters anymore and shit, then I'm fine with that. Oh, there goes Mo. Thrust kick to the face by Fatu. Adam Bomb's out too. He's pissed. You don't come in at number 30 and get eliminated. There's no excuse for that. Yeah, I think DiBiase's giving him shit too. I was saying the same thing. He literally just echoed. I swear to God, I did not plan that. I was like, how are you going to come in at number 30 and get eliminated? And DiBiase, great minds, y'all. Great minds. The ring post, did it hurt more than the post we have now? Yeah. Steel is going to hurt more than plastic. Yeah. It's like an LED screen now. The gnarliest ones are on AEW. They're square. I wouldn't want to take a bump on a corner of one of those. Ouch. Come on, Bret. He's gutting it out, man. On one leg. Marty and Sean, tooth and nail on the other side. Bam Bam and Luger. Oh, Bam Bam with the Flair bump. I love it. And there he goes. Hey, props to Bam Bam for working double duty, a man of his size, and still being able to do that. He barely pulled it off, but he did it. Marty's out on the other side. We have got our final 5. We got to get Tenryu out of there. It is Bret, Sean, and Luger, along with Tenryu and Rikishi. He looks fly today. I love that. And Samoans never sell those heads. Sean went flying to the other side of the ring. Rikishi didn't move. I talked about the Samoans no selling head stuff because it's in their blood. That's why I was giving Hook a break for selling the neck. I'm like, he's Taz's kid. You got to think he's got this kid's neck prepared and strong, and that can maybe be a character trait of the family. Just like having thick craniums, all the Samoans have that. All the Rhodes have a real strong elbow, you know? Like, nothing wrong with it. It's wrestling. Get over yourself. Get Tenryu out of there, please. Luger and Bret working together. If I was Bret, I'd still be pissed at Luger for knocking him out at the WrestleMania brunch. Clubbed him from behind with a loaded forearm. Cost Bret Hart the title most likely against Yokozuna. Now they're friends. This is horse shit. Tenryu wants back in. There's Sean going right after it. Bret and Sean love this 94 matchup between these guys. Yeah, I think Bret and Sean were still homies back at this point, you know, no issues at all. I think they got along just fine. Oof. Luger eats a kick. Yeah, final 4 is Rikishi and Luger and Bret and Sean. Bret's still working on that knee. Come on, Fatu. Vince is like, Fatu's got the advantage. He's going to win this. That would have been some shit. Fatu winning this and going on to challenge Yokozuna, actually. Little cousins. Nope. Look at Luger fighting back. Fighting back in Providence, but that's Providence, man. That's WWE territory. They want Bret. Oh, Sean tried to do the... Wow, he turned Rikishi inside out. Sean tried to do the bump where he jumps on the bottom rope and springs back when he gets his head rammed in the ring buckle. But he botched it. Here we go. Sean leapfrogging. Oh, that's a great spot. I didn't know that's how we got to the final two. Look at this. This was crazy for the time. You have to understand. Bret and Lex, here we go. They're going right at it. No hesitation. They just went right at it. This spot blows my mind how they pulled this off to perfection. There we go. They're about to go for it. Over the top right here. Look at their feet. I mean, they landed perfectly. So I wonder if the plan here was to show the hard camera angle so you didn't see the feet. But then in the production truck, Kevin Dunn is like, yo, Vince, their feet literally hit at the same time. I'm replaying it, replay it. Like, you wouldn't believe how good it looks. Like, we're going to replay it. We'll show the angle. So maybe they use that as a contingency. Like, if the angle, if on the floor you could see that one guy's foot hit first, don't show that angle. Just keep the hard cam and that's it. But to plan this... I just don't know how they hit that perfectly. Even if they did rehearse it 2,000 times throughout the day. The finish in 05 was even weirder. Oh, I remember, oh my God, when his music played. I was like, fuck. And then as soon as they cut to, yeah, right here, to Earl. So now they cut his music, and I'm like, oh. But at this point, once the music stopped, then it was obvious it was going to be a tie. Howard's like, okay. They're just testing the crowd reaction. Now Bret wins. It was silly to even do that, but I think they wanted to test the crowd. He should be the baby. He should get the better reaction. Luger was literally just shoved in our faces as a babyface after being a despicable piece of shit. I'm glad that the fans weren't that easily worked, you know? They're like, no, fuck this guy. Bret's the guy. Look at this right here. That right there tells you all you need to know. That response. Do we get Tunney out here, or does he show up later? Or the referees just agree to... See, this is what's so stupid about it. It's another thing that WWE was always so scared to ever have to put one of their top babies over the other. Like, why wouldn't you just restart the fucking match? Here's Tunney. Tunney should be like, this shit continues. Boom, ring the bell. That's how you do it. But to make co-winners is such a puss move. But without it, we wouldn't have gotten Bret Hart versus Owen Hart at WrestleMania. So, in hindsight, I'm fine with it, but it was dumb. And didn't make no sense. Like, in 2005, it would have been funny if Tunney ran in the ring and blew out both of his quads. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, so the person who's, or so now they're looking at this angle. So whoever's foot hits first loses. You can't tell. Oh, the cameraman's actually purposely trying to not be in total position there.
What are they doing? Jack Tunney discussing things with the officials. No one has left this building. We are awaiting the announcement. Well, when Tunney sticks his nose in, you never know what's going to happen. But Tunney has to make a decision here, and this must be the toughest decision he'll ever make. Here we go.
Here we go. What's Howard going to say? He still doesn't understand? What'd you say all that shit for? You notice they have to go through the whole spiel. The WWF Royal Rumble, because WCW is on pay-per-view too. And they used to make such a big deal about make sure you ask for WWF by name so they don't accidentally order the wrong one. They were so paranoid. Bret's leading the crowd. Oh, and they're going to show another replay before the announcement. Well, this one doesn't show anything. All right, now, Howard, give it to us. WWF Royal Rumble. Shut up. Boo, bullshit. They look pissed. Hey, Clark, if you want to watch us do a watch-along, I did a watch-along of WrestleMania 17 last year. It's set up the same way this one is. It's just not going to be live. You can watch it and follow along. It was fun doing that last year. We're going to do a ton of WrestleManias this year. So, like, Bret is like, for real, this guy? You're going to tie me with him? Just let me fight him right now. So Vince isn't making it sound like who will get the nod. Like they both won the Rumble, but only one can go. Bret and Lex. I thought they were setting up for a Bret and Lex main event. I thought for sure once they did this coin toss shit that Lex would beat Yoko and then face Bret in the championship match. I like the old school WrestleMania music playing. I thought they did show the feet. They might still. Let's see here, they come together for a little handshake, but Bret should still be pissed off at the narcissist. Bret owes the narcissist. Goodbye, Vince. Oh, we're getting a little still image recap. Tatanani, I think next week's Royal Rumble, we're going to do Royal Rumble 2003. What do you think about that one? Because I have 1997 ready to go as well, but since we just did a 90s one here, maybe next week we'll go a little older. We'll do 2003, and then the week after that we might go 97. And if we can fit in a 20th anniversary stream for 1992, we'll do that. So, yeah, I think next week we'll go with 2003. I think that'll be a good option. It's topical. Brock's going to win that thing, and he's on top of the mountain right now. So I think that's what we will do. I love we're getting a still image. Montage. Everybody loves a montage. WWE equals, oh, I thought you were trying to make an acronym. I'm like, that's WOE. Now here we go. This is another look. Look. This is the same one you showed. Ugh. I've never noticed this before, but Shawn was over in that corner and he scurried out of there in time for that finish, or for those guys to hit the floor. Never noticed that before, because he would be involved in his own weird finish 1 year after that with the whole 1 foot thing. So right on. So that was a fun one. Turned out to be way more fun than I thought. Royal Rumble 1994. So next week we'll go some ruthless aggression. We'll do 2003. Excellent match between Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. Pretty good Royal Rumble from what I remember with Brock Lesnar. And I know there is a stinker of a match between Triple H and Steiner, but I have not really looked at that pay-per-view in many years, and definitely never watched it straight through, I don't think ever again since the night I watched it on pay-per-view. So next week will be fun for me because there's a lot of it I'm not going to remember. So unlike a show like this where I remembered a pretty good portion of it. So yeah, next week, 1 week from tonight, Royal Rumble 2003. Let me see. I'm going to probably have some mic drops on the channel here in the next couple of days, but I'm not going to do a Raw review tomorrow. Although I might, since Brock is there. No, I probably won't. We'll play that by ear. I'm planning on no, though. But the next time you will see me is Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite Watch-Along, first show on TBS, Hangman Danielson 2. That's going to be some fun shit. So, Happy New Year again. Hope you guys had a great weekend. If you are heading back into your regular life post-holidays, tomorrow is probably the day a lot of you are doing that. So good luck getting back to everything this week. And make sure you are subscribed. Hit the like button on the way out the door. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll be back on Wednesday.